Please welcome to the stage, Mike Zakarian.
Yes, sir. What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Got outside, touched some grass, had some fun. We had a lot of basketball. It was a lot of basketball. I think, what do we have? 3 games on Friday, 4 on Saturday, 4 on Sunday. Yesterday was a spicy one. The series are heating up. I'm excited. I'm excited about it. Excited to just keep on grinding. But you know what we're excited about? We're also excited about this right here. That's right, baby. We crushed the 9K threshold over the weekend. Actually, it was this morning. Feels good. Feels good. Now we are 996 away from the 10K mark. Let's get going. Speaking of getting going, I'll put this into the chat right now since I saw Borland already said it. Let's do it. Like the stream, subscribe, hashtag Ant-Man. We'll give away another choppy, shoddy moment. Or maybe a so rare card. Depends. You can pick. So there we go. Like the stream, subscribe, hashtag Ant-Man. We hit 9K. We'd love to see it. Who's here this morning? We get Sneeps. Also, look at that team hold NBA. That's right. We're going to talk about that here in a second. We get Cameron Quinlan, Superluminal Fernandez, just on that cocaine energy this morning. Jump Shooters here. We got Easterman in the house. Good to see you, sir. Who else we've got? The Common Man, Stubbs, Perfect Cereal, Garen's up in here, the Hoggy, Joel, good morning, airplane mode. We see Borland up in here. Snoopaloop says, Happy National Pigs in a Blanket Day. All right, we love a day. We love a day. JJL says, Celtics, baby. JJL, I saw you buying a very expensive moment this weekend. All right, that little LeBron James number 75 cereal. Marco's here. We got airplane mode. I think, all right, we caught up. People are putting in the Ant-Man now. But yeah, hope everybody's doing well. I know I mentioned the other thing here. You can see it in our pin chat. You can see it in the show notes. So we spun off Team Hold NBA at Team Hold NBA. We're up to 57 subscribers right now. A lot of people were like, Mike, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing? I'm going to drop a link in there right now. The goal is, right, so we're starting to do some different types of content, right? We did the NBA Funnies Tweets video. We're working on an Oladipo video right now. This kind of like somewhere between 8 and 20-minute type videos. They can get lost amongst all of our live streams and shorts that we're doing. So we wanted a new home where that stuff can just live. Some of that evergreen content, So do me a favor. I would like to get that up over 1,000, in like the next week or so before we drop our first video. So that might be too lofty of a goal since it's a new channel. But listen, all I need is like, what is that? 12% of you to go over and do that. Top Shot comment, one of the 57. We'd love to see it. And thank you, Daniel. Yeah, well, 10K will be a great milestone. The goal now, I think analytically speaking, we should hit 10K right around June. However, I was going to say, as long as we get there before Summer League, right? Because Summer League would be fun to have a little party about that. Speaking of Summer League, everything's booked and blessed. You know what I'm saying? So July 6th and 10th, get excited. Get excited for July 6th and 10th. We're going to be in Vegas at Park MGM. We're going to we get a soft hold on a venue right now, which is exciting for the Saturday show. We've got a little happy hour planned. We're going to have a really good time. I'm thrilled. I'm so excited for that. Mainly because that just means it's summertime. It means it's summertime. Means the playoffs are over. You know what I'm saying? We got like a little off-season energy. We need some off-season energy. There we go. Snoopaloop, the Hoggy. Thank you for subbing, guys. Yeah, let's get that number up. So remember, like the stream, subscribe, hashtag Ant-Man. I think what we're gonna do this morning, I mean, obviously we'll poke around at So Rare a little bit towards the end of the show. No rewards for me this week, and I don't believe even in some disappointing performances on the NBA side of things. But I think what we're going to do is just kind of go series by series because I was going to go over the games individually, but then it gets a little confusing because some of the teams who played on Friday played yesterday. So what I figure is we can just start in the East Coast, start in the Eastern Conference, work our way over. There's only 2 series that haven't played 4 games yet. And that is the Los Angeles Lakers and the Memphis Grizzlies who play tonight, the late game. And then we'll have the earlier game is Milwaukee and Miami. But why don't we just start with Milwaukee, Miami? Because I think so I don't know if anybody else was feeling this way when they were watching game 3 of Miami and Milwaukee, but in my head, it was game 4. And I thought Milwaukee was up 2-1. That's how like I was starting to watch that game and I was like, yeah, I guess this makes sense. Keep Giannis out one more time until it's a tied up. Until Miami ties it up. And that's kind of how I was like taking in the game. And then I don't know, it's probably halfway through the second quarter as Miami's starting to like run away with this a little bit. I looked down at like the ticker or the cryon and it says the series is tied at 1. And I was like, oh shit. Because part of me was like, listen, the Bucks probably feel confident, right? Drop game 1. They go in, smoke them in game 2. They don't need Giannis to beat Miami. They're sure it's going to be a tougher series without the best player in the league right now, but maybe they rest him a little bit longer until the series is tied. But no, that's not the case, right? So that makes me think this Giannis injury might be a little bit tougher or a little bit more serious. Stan Love's trying so hard to find some sort of L to throw at me because he's still riding the Donovan Mitchell train, which we will get into. But it does make me think that Giannis injury might be a little bit more severe. And I guess maybe I was a little foolish for thinking that they were just like, well, there's no need to push it. So game 3 is tonight. Now, Jimmy Butler did have a pretty nasty fall, and I don't think he needed to come back into the game. He fell, I think it was like early in the 4th, maybe late in the 3rd on his hip. But the game was in hand. So they didn't really have to do anything. Let me see what the final score of that was because it did. That was like it was a weird game was that on Saturday? Saturday. Yeah, so Saturday. Miami, what's the final score here? 121-99, right? So, and I think Jimmy only had to play, he didn't have to play his full allotment of minutes. So, yeah, back injuries can be tricky too. And I mean, obviously, you don't want to rush him back and then, further injure Giannis, or I don't know. So, I'll be curious. He's questionable for tonight. It is the first game. So, we should get that news by like 5 or 6, I would imagine. But if Giannis is out again tonight, this is like, Miami's up 2-1. This game is at home, and you do have Jimmy Butler, and playoff Jimmy is built different. So I think if you're a Miami fan, you should be, this is an exciting game for them, especially if Giannis sits. Jordan says, I'm hoping the loss galvanizes the Bucks into winning from form to start their run. They've looked flat so far in the playoffs. Yeah. I mean, it's tough, right? Like Giannis has played 10 minutes. Giannis has played 10 minutes of basketball so far. So when you think the best player in the NBA, losing him is tough. They have looked flat. I mean, Middleton's shots looked better. Drew's had some games, but now you're relying on Bobby Portis not getting into foul trouble. Brook Lopez didn't seem as effective in game 3 as he did in game 2. You need some shooting from your Grayson Allens and Pat Connaughtons, and Joe Ingles has looked tough, man. Joey Ingles from down under. He's looked wishy-washy. He looks old. He looks my age. And so I don't know. I mean, you don't want to overreact too much to a single game, but Miami does have a 2-1 lead. And as a Celtics fan, just drooling at that, just drooling to see we'll get to Embiid in a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. Is anybody concerned? Here? Who do we have? Do we have Bucks or Miami in the chat? Who do you think takes? Let's say Giannis does not play tonight. Who wins that game? And Veronica's saying the Bucks can't break 3-point records every game. Also true. You also got a good Kevin Love game in game 3. Actually, Kevin Love's been solid this entire playoff series. And then the Oladipo stuff, man. The Oladipo injury was really tough. I just feel so sad for that guy, man. He's just been so unlucky, and I feel like it takes him so like, and they're not. He's not like AD, right? Where AD just it's like these weird things that keep him out a month, and then he comes back, and then he gets hurt again. Depot has like catastrophic injury after catastrophic injury. It's so tough to watch, and I mean, you could feel the like the arena, everybody's just so sad when he went down. Can we mention how Claw? Yeah, we'll get to. We're starting on the east side of things. But what's up with the people? I know that's what I thought. Just creeps into the back of my mind. Who else? We got Veronica saying 3-1 tonight. All right, so she got Heat in Game 5. Heat in 5. We the people saying still rolling with the Bucks. Bucks. I have to say that Miami. This ain't the COVID year. I don't know. Didn't you go to the finals in the COVID year? Wouldn't that be good for you? I'm confused. I'm confused. Joel saying the Heat. Wow, a lot of people on the Heat side of things. So does Andor. All right. All right. So people riding with Miami. I do think we're gonna see. I think we're gonna see a much closer game with or without Giannis. I think we'll have a close game. For the sake of like basketball, I really hope Giannis is back, man. The injury bug has been brutal this playoffs, and I just hope they COVID year was the Bucks championship. You guys went to the finals in the bubble. So the COVID year only counts when it's not about your success. Is that what you mean? I just don't think Miami passes the eye test. Yeah, Heat and 6 is JJL. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, listen, you're relying on a lot of people. You're relying on a lot of people to play good basketball, like Max Strus and Gabe Vincent and Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry, though, he's looked a little bit better. He's looked a little bit better. So, anyways, that's game 4 is tonight. That'll be a fun one. I hope Giannis plays. We want superstars playing, man. We want superstars playing. No more asterisks. You know what I mean? I want them out there. Let's go to the second round. The second and 7 seeds, Atlanta and Boston. Boston shut the door last night. So over the weekend on Friday night, Trae Young, and kudos to Trae Young, man. Trae Young's been playing a lot better basketball. A lot better basketball after like a really tough first 2 games. I mean, his shot making in game 3 was pretty solid, and then his decision making in game 4 was really good. It was much more competitive game. So Atlanta takes game 3 with some insane shot making. I think I read a stat. I think their bench shot 100%. They shot 100% from the bench in the first half, which is nuts. And then I remember, like, as the Celtics closed the gap a little bit, Trae hits this ridiculous step back corner 3, like falling out of bounds, and that sealed the deal. And then last night, Celtics a little bit more in control, but Atlanta kept it way more competitive. They kept it close. The Boston defense has been not great the last couple of games. So what was the final score of this one? It was 129-121. Jaylen Brown clearly saw that Tatum didn't have that oomph in him in the second half, and JB took over. No mask, Jaylen Brown, by the way. We get to see that beautiful face. We the people said it seemed like a lot of Celtics fans in ATL. Yeah, it did. It did seem like there was a lot of them. So Celtics take a commanding 3-1 lead, but as they head back to Boston. And it looks like Atlanta is going to be without DeJounte Murray for game 5. So that's probably a wrap. DeJounte bumped a ref on the way out, and not like accidentally. He didn't even make it seem like it was an accident. He went up to him and bumped him. And they're like, the way that people have been suspended or ejected from games, I can only imagine that he's getting tossed or he's getting suspended for 1 game. Really dumb, really dumb. I'm sure Spurs ownership and the front office is just sitting there being like, yes. Because there were rumors that DeJounte, what's the phrase, was living outside. And so DeJounte will probably be out there we're out of game 5. And that means it's going to be a little bit more bogey of the Bogdanoviches. Fernandez says you have to suspend him for that. You can't step at a ref like that. Yeah, I don't think so. All right. Yeah. YouTube is taking shots. His team hold NBA is no content. We have no content at this point. At least it wasn't a cross shot. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we a weekend of no nuts, which was nice, right? A weekend of no nuts. Anyways, yeah, Boston. Oh, yeah, Hunter has been balling. DeAndre Hunter he had 2 games in a row there at home where he's been cooking. And he was in my lineup that I didn't care about on So Rare. So that was a big fat L for me. But yeah, I want to talk more about Atlanta after we get through all these series, because I'm kind of curious where you guys think Atlanta. Now, let's do it right now. Where do we think Atlanta goes from here? I think after game 2, right? After game 2, it was like, wow, this team is not going to work. This team is broken. They don't have a future. Trae Young seems bad. And then in game 3 and game 4, they put up a little bit more of a fight. They didn't get swept. They stole a game, but I don't know what they do from here. I know, like, all last week, everybody just took a bath on Trae, right? That they were just kind of like, this, he's bad. He's broken. This team's not working. Yeah, I know everybody's saying Mexico, go home, they go fishing. I mean, next season, what do we think they do? What do we think they do next season? Do they just run this back? Do they run this team back? And much like the value of the running backs on NBA Top Shot, does it just continue? Do the performances continue to dwindle? Do they move a couple of the ancillary pieces to try to get a move? Because I brought this up earlier in the season, but I believe they have the second or third most expensive payroll in the league. That might actually be wrong, because I know it's Golden State and the Clippers, but for the amount of money that they've spent on some of these guys, and like you look at the talent, right? I mean, DeAndre Hunter's a solid role player. Clint Capela's a solid big. Okongwu's been awesome for them off the bench, a great 1-2 punch that we talked about as like their 5. Trae and DeJounte, like all-star caliber guards. You got Bogdanovich coming off the bench. Like, they have a lot of talent. They just can't seem to figure it out. Fernandez saying, I think they get traded. I think they move one of the bigs. I hope they move off Capella. I want to see Okongwu play starters minutes. I really like him. Regulator says they give Quinn a year until they go trade hunting. DeJounte for Cat, says Shiggins. Now that is spicy. That is spicy, because I think those are both two teams in the offseason that are going to have to look in the mirror and figure out where to go from here. Even though, I mean, the good news is the difference between Minnesota and Atlanta right now. Anthony Edwards, baby. Anthony Edwards, a rising star. All right, I don't think we have to talk too much more about it. Boston's going to move on. I imagine they get it done at home in game 5, and then that will set up Boston-Philly here in a second. Matty Harrison says, Trae Young is so bad defensively. Sorry, my computer's being wild. Trae Young is so bad defensively. If he isn't the best offensive player on the court, his team doesn't have a real chance. Yeah, you know what the surprising thing about Trae is that he's been a bad shooter. And if Trae is not shooting the ball well and getting cooked on defense, what do you do? What do you do? If Trae is traded, he needs to go to a defensive-oriented team like the Raptors or the Heat. Trae on the Raptors is pretty interesting. Trae on the Raptors is pretty interesting. Fernandez saying, I just don't think Trae is a winning player, which is kind of funny, because if I recall, Trae beat the Knicks in the playoffs. So there we go. Plunge Father in the house. Good to see you. Yeah, I'm pretty intrigued by this Trae to the Raptors thing. Trae to the Raptors is pretty fun, right? Surround him. The only thing is, right, like, who do you move off of? Because, like, Fred VanVleet, you can't really trade him, I guess, unless it's a sign and trade. I'm not even sure if that would work. Same thing with Gary Trent Jr. So I don't even know who you would move for Trae, because you'd have to move some of those defensive pieces. Yeah, I don't know. Everybody bringing up COVID year. It's good to know that all you guys have your excuses packed and ready. All right, Common Man says Tim Hardaway Jr. for Capella. I'd have to look at their contracts. I kind of like that, though. Gives them a little bit more shooting. Lets Okongwu cook. I kind of like that. Stupid Loop says, if Trae goes to a defensive-minded team, they will no longer be a defensive team, right? No, I think if the problem is they don't have a ton of defenders around them right now in Atlanta, in my opinion, anyways. I don't know. Anyways, that's interesting. I'm fascinated to see how Atlanta handles the offseason. Let's go over to, what's the 3-6? The 3-6 was Philly. Philly and Brooklyn, and that's over. Bring out the broom. Sweep, bitch. Game 4, shout out Jay Catch from the 89 Cavs. Justin Catchins, he was at another elimination game. He pointed out over the weekend that he has been to the last 3 times, I believe, he's been to the Barclays Center. No, that's not true. 3 times he's been. He saw the Nets get eliminated by the Celtics, the Nets get eliminated by the Sixers, and then we were at the game together where the Liberty got knocked out by the Aces in the playoffs. I think it was Liberty Aces. But yeah, Philly swept them. Tyrese Maxey, dude, has been cooking. Also, Tobias Harris. We're gonna give some Toby love, right? Give some Toby love, because he's been great. He's had solid games both at home and the road. Milo says, RIP to my Philly stacks, bro. Yeah, Philly stacks are in tough shape for 2 different reasons, right? They four game sweep, 4-game sweep, that hurts. But also Embiid, so Embiid misses game 4. We talked about it after game 3, right? Like the dude was just on the ground. I think a clip was going around that of just like a super cut of him hitting the ground. It was like 11 or 12 or 13 times that Embiid went down. And then Doc Rivers had like a really weird, not even weird, but alarming press conference right before game 4. So the report comes out, Embiid's going to miss the game. And then during his little presser, they were saying that there was like some swelling behind the knee and it didn't look good. And now it seems like it sounds like he's out at least 2 weeks, which, I mean, the good news is that a lot of these first round series are getting stretched out a little bit. So maybe it doesn't hurt them too bad. But it looks like he's going to miss at least like the first part of the round 2 matchup against what I'm assuming is the Celtics. Or is it, I don't know. Or is he back? I don't know. But it sounds like he's going to miss at least the first part of that series, which is such a blow to them because Brooklyn sucks, right? Like, I mean, it's been fun that Mikal Bridges has been awesome. But you look at that squad. I mean, they had no shot. So it wasn't surprising. And I know Ryan Russillo has talked about this a bunch, but that the Nets were like a under 500 team since the trade deadline, but because Miami and Atlanta and all of these teams couldn't catch up to them, we're kind of like, oh, Brooklyn's not that bad. They were 60. They avoided the playing game. They've been pretty bad. Some bright spots, but bad. And Phillies had no problem getting through them. It was a real big coming out party for Maxey. B-ball Paul, we get some Paul Reed who put up 10 points and 15 boards. But like that squad is going to be a very different matchup for Boston, right? And so without Embiid, I mean, that's bad news Bears. So yeah, listen, and the same thing, I'll say the same thing for Giannis, even though Embiid would be going up against the Celtics. We need our stars healthy, especially if he's about to get MVP. He's going to get MVP with like ice around his knee and street clothes, during like game 5 or something. It's going to suck. So I hope Embiid's back. Let's talk Brooklyn a little bit. Perfect Serial said, should the Nets trade Mikal Bridges and reset or keep building? So I think you got to keep Bridges. I think that's like the one untouchable, because I don't know, like, what are you building? If you're not keeping him, what are you building? And I think they gotta keep him. There was some rumors though. I did see some NBA chatter, if you will, about Brooklyn being interested in Dame. And man, Dame must be so sick of this shit. Like every single year, he just has to spend time being like, I'm not going anywhere. So, but now he also said he was like, I'm not interested in rebuilding. So who knows? So they have enough pieces and picks. You can move like Cam Johnson, another young piece, Cam Johnson, Cam Thomas, maybe a ton of picks to try to get Dame. And then you build around Dame, Bridges, and Claxton as your big. And then hopefully you can get a free agent over there as well. Selfishly, I'd like to see Dame move somewhere else, and especially in New York. Also, he was like filming something in Brooklyn this weekend, so everybody get excited about that. But I want to see Dame on a good team. If you trade Bridges for Dame, Nets should be contracted. Yeah, that would be stupid. That would be dumb. Maybe able to get a lot for Bridges. Yeah, but what do you like to do? What though? To just start from? I mean, I guess if you can start from scratch, but you would have, like, if you're trading Bridges, you need just like 5 unprotected picks, right? I'd go the route of like Cam Johnson has been awesome in the playoffs. Awesome might be too strong of a word, but he's been really good. They've got some young pieces they can move around. We saw Cam Thomas finally get into a game, so shout outs to Cam. It's good to see Cam in there. Anyways, all right, one more round of basketball, or round in the Eastern Conference that we got to get to. Let's do hold on, we do a regular season Randall drop.
A regular season Randall.
And I know more people have been joining too, so let's do this. Like the stream, subscribe, put hashtag Ant-Man into the chat, baby. Put him in there. Put Ant-Man into the chat. And then also do me a favor and go subscribe to Team Hold NBA, our new channel. There's no content on there yet. Let's see. How many subs did we pick up this morning? 4. We're up to 61. Let's get that over 100 before we get out of here. But anyways, yeah, like the stream, subscribe, put hashtag Ant-Man into the chat. All right, let's talk about this game. So let's do it from the positive side first. Let's talk about the Knicks. So the Knicks go that we get back to the Garden. They play a Friday, Sunday, and they wax them on Friday. And then, Cleveland made a couple of runs to keep this somewhat tight, but just waxed them yesterday. And Jalen Brunson is the best guy in this series. And it's not close, man. Brunson has got everything going, right? He's just unguardable right now. His weird body type, he's able to create space without being fast. Like it's whether it's a step back in the lane, like he kind of gets into the lane and then kind of kicks out to the foul line a little bit, hit a little step back floater. He can finish around the rim. His 3-pointer's been dropping. And they don't have anybody who can guard him, right? They switched it up in the second half. I saw after not seeing Okoro too much in game 2 and 3, right? All of a sudden, Okoro's back in there trying to guard him. You've got more Chetty Osman minutes. It was a lot of Rubio. We saw a lot of Rubio, but yeah, he actually dunked in the last game. That was incredible. But Jalen Brunson has been the best player in this series, and it hasn't been close. And the Knicks take a 3-1 lead after beating both of them. And there's been a couple of things that stood out to me. And again, more on the positive side of things. Mitchell Robinson, man, has been, and I don't know. I don't know if Mitchell Robinson is playing this good or if the Cleveland Bigs are playing this bad, but they are making Mitchell Robinson look like Detroit Pistons Ben Wallace. Like he is doing it on both ends. He's getting offensive boards with putbacks, which I guess isn't really Ben Wallace. He's been blocking shots. They can't do anything around the rim. And I know like Donovan Mitchell is the guy that's supposed to take all the attention away, but like if you're not getting anything down low, it's killing their guards as well. And that's where the game is being won. And I know RJ Barrett's had 2 games back to back. I think his like minutes have been secured too because Quentin Grimes missed this last game. But RJ's been playing really well at home. But I mean, Mitchell Robinson and Jalen and Brunson have been the difference. And regulators saying Mitchell Robinson has a playoff type game. Honestly, he's got freaking what's his name? He's got Robert Williams type vibes, right? Where like he's injury prone, but if he stays on the court, he's just a defensive menace, man. He makes everybody a little bit better. Josh Hart too. Yeah, dude. I mean, they've got playoff type guys. I mean, Knicks have been great. Yeah, Obi Toppin hit like a deep ass 3-pointer this weekend. Benching Randall in the 4th had real balls, but what a small move. Yeah, Randall got benched. Randall's been awful. That's the other thing. They're up 3-1, and Julius Randle has been terrible this series. And I don't think that's because Julius Randle is bad. Like, I think this will course correct. But the fact that you've taken 3 of the first 4 from Cleveland, have a chance to close out in Cleveland, and then another shot at home if you don't do it there, without Julius Randle playing, without even getting a decent Julius Randle game. I mean, the Knicks have to feel really good. So hashtag Bing Bong forever. The Bing Bong boys are taking it to him. Let's make fun of Donovan Mitchell a little bit, dude. He has just no-showed. Donovan is no-showed. Let's see what he's done in Madison Square Garden. I'm going to pull it up on my phone because my computer's being a little bit weird. So on Friday, they lose by 20. Donovan gives them 22, 7, and 5. And he is minus 19 on the court. So 22, 7, and 5, minus 19 on the court. So now we go to game 4, Sunday marquee game. Need this W if you're Cleveland. You need your all-NBA guard to do some all-NBA shit. And this is what he gives them. Donovan, they lose by 9. And this is what Mitchell, he gives you an 11, 5, and 4 line. How many shots did he take? He goes 5 for 18 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3, minus 8 on the court. Just like, where did he go? And I picked the Cavs. I have a lot of Donovan Mitchell best ball bags. So it's not like I'm like Donovan sucks. But that was a big time whiff by him. And I think he even said as much after the game. I mean, it's a tough scene. And I mean, Cleveland's toast. Like they might take game 5, but we've seen, he was fine the previous game. Was he? Is he fine if your team loses by 22? Yeah, 22. Is that fine? We've seen, and we saw what he did last year in the Dallas series too. When they went down, he just kind of quit. And so, listen, I hope Cleveland takes this next game. I hope this pushes the series a little bit. But if they don't, we've seen him punt before. So I'll be curious to see how Cleveland handles game 5 with the backs against the wall. And I mean, Darius Garland, dude, Darius Garland, the third quarter, they come out, and Skeets actually put this in the Discord yesterday, played like perfect point guard basketball. It was just like incredible distribution. It took over the pacing of the game, and it looked like Cleveland was going to pull together and take the lead. And then Jalen Brunson did some Brunson shit. But I mean, you can't get 11 points from Donovan Mitchell. You can't. It was an absolute backbreaker there. And listen, credit to New York, man. They're up 3-1, and like The winner of this series gets Milwaukee, we think. I mean, Miami's in the driver's seat. And even if they get Milwaukee, if New York can close it out and just like rest while Milwaukee is grinding out games against Miami, we know for them to win this series, it's at least going 6 games, right? And you got Giannis, who's a little bit dinged up. And I don't know. I think this could be problematic here. 22, 5, and 7, 2 steals on good shooting is awful. I think if you lose by 20, that's pretty bad. I think that's pretty bad. So if you're just box score watching, I totally get it, Stan. If you're box score watching, I totally get it. But he was pretty bad. He was pretty bad. So, yeah, tough L. We'll talk about Jamal Murray and the Nuggets though soon, Stan. And we continue to victory lap that take, my friend. Let's get over to the Western Conference. We'll start with last night's action. Also, like the stream, subscribe. #Antman. #Antman. Dude, Anthony Edwards is fucking awesome. He's so good, man. He's so good. And again, for my best ball bags, even though I have a lot of Denver, I needed this game to be stretched out. So I was praying for a Minnesota W. He was awesome. And you know what? I like Karl Anthony Towns still does some dumb stuff, right? Fouls himself out. Fouls himself out of the game in a close game, and it was like a dumb foul. But stat-wise, like he showed up a little bit more, right? 17 and 11 last night. Rudy with 14 and 15, but Ant-Man was 34, 6 and 5, dude. He has just been hitting clutch shot after clutch shot. They still got a massive Jokic game. Jokic had 43, 11, and 6. What was really, I mean, we almost got some insane Minnesota shit. So Minnesota up 12 with, I think, what was it? 12 with like 2 minutes left. And Michael Porter Jr., who hadn't hit a 3 like the whole game, hits 2 back-to-back like tough threes where it was like pump fake, defender goes flying, and then rises up, does it back-to-back times. And then I think, who was it? Somebody else. Did Jokic hit a 3? And somehow, and then Jokic goes 1 for 2 at the line. He had a chance to win. It goes 1 for 2 at the line, ties it up. They go into overtime. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who was taking bad shots in the fourth quarter to the point where they subbed them back out, hit some monster corner threes in overtime to like seal the W. He was incredible. And regular said, just give Ant-Man the keys. Yeah, I mean, you got to Anthony Edwards just this entire playoff series, right? Like he's got to be averaging almost 30 a game. After like a tough game 1, which again, we talked about, like game 1 was set up for them to get smoked. Much more competitive basketball. It goes back to Denver. I imagine Denver shuts it out in or closes the series down at home in game 5. But Minnesota, like, you know, the Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert stuff is tough. And the fit is tough, but like at least if you're a Minnesota fan, you're like, okay, we do have that guy. And I don't know what they do. Listen, the series isn't over. Who knows? Maybe they go ham. I don't know how they move forward next season because like clearly they still need to upgrade. Like you can't be paying everybody that much, have this type of roster build, and then be settling for 7 and 8 seeds, right? But who knows, man? Who knows? Maybe Cat like figures it out here a little bit. But yeah, the Cat stuff is tough. Merkmai saying, I still remember Ant during his draft. Didn't seem like he had a good head on his shoulders. Now, yeah, dude, he's clutch, man. He is, Ant-Man is like, whew. You go back and look at that draft and remember they were like, Wiseman or LaMelo or whatever. Ant-Man is that guy. He is that guy. But he was good. He was good. Yeah, I'm not, if you're Denver, like whatever, dude, like you're good. You're good. You didn't get like solid Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr. or Aaron Gordon games, but this shouldn't be a problem. So kudos to them. All right, 2-7 matchup. We have game 4 tonight. Memphis and the Lakers. Dillon Brooks, man. Listen, if you're going to be a troll, right? If that is what you do, you are the tough guy. You are the mouthpiece for the team. You get in everybody's face. You have to still embrace that villainhood if you're going to go down like that, right? So, I mean, everybody knows this at this point. It was everywhere. So he slaps LeBron in the balls and then gets a flagrant 2, ejected from the game. And then doesn't say anything to the media after the game. He's like, I'm talking. And then now is saying he's getting painted in a certain light by the referees because of what he said. Like, dude, eat the L, baby. Be like Stan Loves. Eat that L. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, when Dillon Brooks redemption hoodies, that's a great joke, Fernandez. But listen, so Lakers get the W. Anthony Davis had a monster game in game 3, like absolutely just incredible goat shit. Like he was so good. LeBron still had some solid stats, but that was an AD game. D'Lo actually had a solid game too, but the way they were talking about D'Lo in the broadcast, it was like he went for 30 and 15. But that's how bad he's been the first 2 games, that he gets 17 points. People were like, D'Lo, baby. But he was much better. If you are Memphis, here's the thing that you can hang your hat on, right? You scored 9 points in the first quarter. 9 points. You're down like 35 or 37-9, something like that. You were down 16 at the end of the third, I think. And then Ja Morant, who everybody was nervous about, he was questionable. He missed part of game 1, missed all of game 2, questionable all the way up until the game. And then you were like, oh, even if he plays, he's going to be a decoy. He's going to be bad. Ja was incredible. He scored 22 points in the fourth quarter. They got that to single digits, I think, like 7 points at one point. So at least you can like move into game 4 being like, we know we got a healthy Ja. We missed Dylan Brooks for half of the game. We're not going to score 9 points in a quarter again. We're not going to give up that many points. Like that point differential isn't going to be there like that next time. So if you are a Grizzlies fan, I don't think it's all bad. All you got to do is win one, right? So you got to win one of game 3 and game 4 to reclaim home court advantage and then head back to Memphis. So they got to win tonight, though. Tonight is must win. I think we're going to get a big LeBron game. I don't think we can get back-to-back AD games. I think we're due for a big LeBron game. And Ja Morant's going to have to go for 50. He's just going to have to do it. Also, I think the Grizzlies need a good shooting night, too. I feel like we haven't seen Desmond Bane go like 5 for 7 from 3 yet. We're due for one of those. Jaren Jackson Jr. found himself in foul trouble again. That happened. So they need him out there. I'm excited for this game, though. It's both of tonight's games are going to be kind of ugly, but I'm excited to watch both of them. Regulator said Grizz are down 2-1. Yeah, they are down 2-1. Ooh, Bandy came in slow this morning. This guy is tired. He is tired, but we get a Bandy sighting. He's a fluffy fellow this morning. I'm very excited for these games. Both favorites down 2-1 here. And as we move on to the next series too, obviously the winner of this one is going to get the winner of Warriors Kangs. And the Warriors Kings series is so good, man. That game was so fun. De'Aaron Fox is awesome. Steph Curry is awesome. Everybody else is pretty good. That's how this whole series has been. Fox and Curry just trading buckets. I just got to say, though, I think there's been Shiggins says one of the best first rounds in a while. I agree, too. I saw people dumping on the first round. I've been enjoying this first round of the playoffs a lot. I have a lot of issues with both how that game was covered down the stretch by the commentators and also like how Twitter was treating everything yesterday. Like Harrison Barnes just getting hammered yesterday. And I was like, how? And Steph Curry, if we are going to hammer Harrison Barnes, Steph Curry needs to be like paying for Harrison Barnes. Like, I don't know what we just like sending thank you cards, making sure he's getting Christmas gifts every year, because Harrison Barnes, like, yes, he missed a buzzer beater that would have gotten the Kings a W. But Steph with his went full Chris Webber, calling a timeout with no timeouts left when that game was in hand, right? They had the ball. I think they were up 5. Now all of a sudden the Kings are shooting free throws and get the ball back because he's calling the timeout when they don't have one. And then they miss the shot down the other end. They get the board, and Harrison Barnes misses a game-winning shot. And that could have absolutely been the worst. But I just thought, like, the way, and I love Doris Burke. Like, I'm pro Doris Burke. The combo of those two calling the game was great. But, like, was just hammering how the Kings were taking shots down the stretch. And I was like, they're down multiple possessions with no time left. They have to get shots up quickly. And like Malik Monk went up for a 3 and they were like, or went up for a layup. It was a contested layup. And they're like, what are you doing? Like, how dare you take that shot? And it's like, what do you want them to do? They need quick offense. They need it now. And then nobody says anything for like 5 minutes when Steph Curry makes one of the most colossal errors in like playoff basketball history, calling a timeout with no timeouts. Yet the only reason we're not talking about it is because they still get the W. But like even in the moment, nobody was saying anything. It took them like 5 minutes to cover what Steph just did. It was very weird. It was very weird. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't like it. But anyways, I don't think Doris is past her prime. Doris Burke is awesome. I just thought that both of them were responsible for being on that a little bit better. And they weren't. They weren't. It was just a weird ending of the game. I don't know if they were just confused. It was happening in real time. It was loud in the it's not called Oracle anymore, right? What is it called? Or is it still called Oracle? I don't know. But maybe they were just, caught up in the moment and didn't realize what happened. But the way that they called that down the stretch, I didn't love it. And then everybody was just hammering Harrison Barnes. He's like, dude, he's got to shoot that shot. De'Aaron Fox passed it to him with 3 seconds left. They're down. The shot's going to go up. And he just didn't make it. Whatever. It happens. Anyways, we go back to to Sacramento now, baby. We go back to Sacktown. It's 2-2. We have game 5. It's game 5 Tuesday night. I think it's every other night now. The rest of the way. Sorry, my phone was playing a game. Let's see. We have Tuesday. Yeah, we've got game 5. Oh no, so it's Wednesday? We have game 5 until Wednesday night. Damn. Yeah. So tonight we just have Heat and Bucks, Lakers and Grizz. Tuesday we've got Celtics and they have 3 games. Celtics and Hawks, Wolves and Nuggets, and then Clippers and Suns. So Chase Center now. Thank you, Merkamize. Chase Center. Yeah, Wiggins missed one of those two, or earlier in the series, right? Like in game 2. Anyways, so we'll go to game 5. It's 2-2. Everybody's held serve so far, right? Kings won both of their games at home. Warriors won both of their games at home. Let me take this time to remind everybody, the Hornets have won more road games than the Warriors this year, and the Warriors have played 2 extra road games. So they've won 11 total road games this season, and now they go back to Sacramento where they lost both games. They were competitive in both games, but they lost both games. Also, one other thing, Draymond picked up a technical earlier in the game, and Kevin O'Connor. So Kevin O'Connor tweeted out, I'm going to pull this up here. Tweeted out something, and it was about Dillon Brooks, which, like, I kind of agree about the Dillon Brooks stuff. But this tweet to me is like unhinged. I don't even know how we got to this take. It felt like it was a joke. Let me see if I can find it here. Oh, I tweeted a lot yesterday. All right, here we go. So I'm gonna share screen here. He tweets out, self-awareness separates a Draymond Green or a PJ Tucker from Dillon Brooks. They know their role on offense. When Brooks tries to be a scorer, he hurts his team, and tonight he shot the Grizzlies out of the quarter in the first game. All of that is true about Dillon Brooks. Draymond Green was just suspended for a playoff game for curb stomp and Sabone Bone, and then immediately picked up a technical, and honestly, probably should have picked up a second technical, but they didn't want to kick him out like 2 games in a series. Self-awareness? We're saying Draymond Green has self-awareness? That's where we are right now? I don't see it. I thought that tweet was unhinged. That doesn't take away the fact that Dillon Brooks has been garbage. But anyways, we go to Sacramento. For game 5 on Wednesday. Tied up 2-2, best of 3 series. Sacktown will have 2 of the 3 games if it goes 7 at home. And that's going to be the most exciting series. And the fact that the winner of this is taking on the Lakers or Grizz, and either one of those 4 teams, like all those teams, are still in contention in this series. And I mean, we either get Lakers versus Sacramento. We can throw back to Tim Donaghy. We'll either get Lakers at Warriors. We get LeBron versus Steph, Draymond versus Love or LeBron. We could get Memphis at Sacramento, which would be kind of fun. These new young and up and coming teams, or Memphis at the Warriors. I would love it. We the People says would love to see Sac win it all, but he's got dubs in 6. Interesting. I think the self-awareness was about them not knowing their role in offense, not being a moron in general. Yeah, but that's a very specific way to talk about self-awareness. And that's not, I get what he was saying. Dillon Brooks was taking a bunch of stupid shots in the first quarter because he was trying to be him. But I think to give Draymond Green credit for self-awareness is stupid. Stupid. Anyways, great series. All right, last matchup. We get the 4-5 Clippers and Suns. Oh, what the fuck, right? Let's do a mental health check for Kawhi Leonard. But I'm just not going to do it, guys. And it feels good to not cave to the chat because I am the boss. Like I said earlier, I'm in charge today. I am in charge. You can't tell me what to do. The Kawhi Leonard stuff was crazy, man. Kawhi gets ruled out before game 3. And then I was listening to a bunch of podcasts about this, trying to figure out what was going on. And it sounded like that they didn't report the injury properly because he plays game 1 and supposedly his knee flared up in game 1, but it was nowhere on the injury report. No one talked anything about his knee injury. And then it got worse after game 2. And so he sits game 3 and has already been ruled out, and then was ruled out for game 4. And that sucks because both of the Clippers were in both of those games. The Clippers lost 2 tight games to Phoenix, and And I mean, that sucks. It just sucks. I feel like this would have been a real series. And weird stuff. Weird stuff. And Kawhi was like the best guy in the playoffs. Like he was playing incredible, and then doesn't play either of these games. But let's take a second. Let's take a second to say Russell Westbrook. Whew, good God, Russ. I mean, Russ was playing, and again, I'll eat this L forever. I will. I mean, Russ was really bad with the Lakers, and the Lakers were a bad fit. And Russ has been weird with some other teams too, and he's been inefficient. He's done all those things. Russ has been toe to toe, just as good as KD and Booker in this series. Like incredibly efficient in his 30-point scoring. He's playing defense. He's playing like lights out, cocaine fueled basketball right now. And I really do think if Kawhi was there, we'd be going back to Phoenix 2-2. I really do think that. I think they would have won one of those games. And who knows? Maybe in game 3, they took the foot off the brakes a little bit, or off the gas, excuse me, a little bit. And they were like, we already, there's no Kawhi. It's a wrap. And then the Clippers played tough. But man, just wild. I wonder how Kawhi could have been if he didn't have his injury history. I mean, it's crazy that he had, I mean, he's like, we say that, and he's been the finals MVP 2 times, right? With 2 different franchises. I know people are referencing the sister thing too. Yeah. I posted the link to the story on our community page on YouTube about Kawhi's sister who was convicted of murder of like an elderly woman, which is kind of like a wild story. And I think some people are speculating like, is that it was Kawhi missing games because of that? But that's been going on for a while, so it's not like that was news to Kawhi. But yeah, that shit is just a dog whistle to try to remind you masses where these players come from. Don't fall. Wait, what? That shit is just a dog whistle to try to remind the masses where the players come from. Wait, what did I miss here? What was that about, D-Rose? Sorry, missed that. Not sure what the sister stuff has to do with anything. No. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, the sister stuff, like that's a crazy story, but that's definitely not why Kawhi missed those games for sure. Yeah, I caught up now. Yeah, anyways, that's too bad. I think we got robbed of a really good series, and I think they are pushing Phoenix to the brink, and luckily for Phoenix, they leave the Clippers 3-1. KD and Devin Booker have been awesome. Also, you want to know how bad Donovan Mitchell has been? I was looking at my best ball lineups. Chris Paul is outscoring Donovan Mitchell fantasy point wise. So there you go. Chris Paul outscoring Donovan Mitchell. The third option versus the first option. They played the same amount of games. CP3 greater than sign Donovan. Crazy. Yeah. No, I see you, D-Rose. I missed it. I just totally missed it. But yeah, that's crazy. So the Suns are in good shape. The one thing I will say, we're continuing to see Phoenix play all like KD and Devin Booker are like averaging 42 minutes a game. I think that comes back to bite them, but who knows? You only got to do it. You only need 13 more wins, and there we go. Russ will be a Sun next season. Now that is a take. But it is setting up nicely for a Phoenix-Denver series, which I think is going to be sexy. I think it's going to be pushing the Suns in a very different direction. A lot of pressure is going to be put on DeAndre Ayton in the pick and roll, I think. And I mean, same thing. Like you're going to throw Gordon on KD, I guess, and then Devin Booker is going to put Jokic in the pick and roll. Chicken Frick says, do you think Russ can go back to no D? Like when your wife learns how to clean the toilet, how do you get out of it now? Can go back to no D? Wait, what do you mean? Oh, like to not playing defense? I don't know. I think Russ just has to be on the right team next season. I think he has to be on the right team, Eric says, I got to go. I'll DM you when I win this. So that is a reminder. Like the stream, subscribe, hashtag the Ant-Man. Also, like another reminder too, how many subs are we're up to on the Team Hold? So we created a second, we're up to 64. We created a second YouTube channel. It's going to be for some of our mid-range content. So go ahead and please subscribe to our Team Hold NBA channel. We'll have our first video will probably come out in the next 2 weeks. Have you talked about, yeah, we did. We talked about how incredible Ant-Man was. Ant-Man was a god, and they almost blew the game. It was insane. No, I got what you were saying, Chicken Frog. I ended up following, my bad. I do. I hope Russ gets to the right squad next year. I think that could be kind of fun, right? Surround Russ he needs to be the ball handler, and he needs to be surrounded by some shooting. We the People says Russ, SGA, Giddy, Jaywell, and Chet. And so, you know what? That will be interesting too. Do you think Russ is going to try to go to the right fit? Like, because I bet he could get, if he doesn't take like a massive deal, right? Because he's going to have to get, paid. He's going to have to get a contract. And I wonder if he's going to be like, I need a big time contract, or like just get me to the right place. That would be a good. The only thing about that, We the People, is I want the ball in SGA's hands quite a bit. And I don't know if that's a great fit for Russ. However, if Russ was like coming off the bench and just, I don't know, like they stagger those minutes. Mike was saying, what are you classifying as mid-range content? So you know what we did that the NBA funniest tweets? We did that video last week. Anywhere between like 8 and 22 minutes, right? So those like standalone videos. So no live streams, no shorts, just like 8 to 20 plus minutes or something like that. I know, dude. Listen, I'm not like, I know there's a lot of send him to Shanghai jokes here. I can't make fun of Russ. I'm taking it because you know what? He's too good, man. He's too good right now. He's been incredible in the playoffs. I can't make fun of it. He's been awesome. And it's not like he's just getting volume points, right? He was good in game 1 and 2 with Kawhi. And then in games 3 and 4, he was like efficient and a monster. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Anyways, that we did it. We did all of the series. I think like my biggest L so far is the Cleveland Knicks series. Everything else, I thought Memphis and the Lakers were going to go long. I thought Warriors, I think I had Kings in 7 originally. So I think that's going to be a long series. Everything else kind of checks out. And then Miami, Milwaukee. I mean, this is a massive game tonight. I hope Giannis plays just because I want to see good basketball players play basketball. But if Giannis sits again, this could be tough. This could be tough. Content-wise, listen, Barry was back last night. We saw episode 3 of Barry, so the Barry boys are going to be here tonight at 7. I imagine we'll have playback throughout the week. I'll have a So Rare video up here in a little bit. The Hoggy saying, what's going on with So Rare? It says the game week ends on the 28th. Thought it was all week long. I thought it was all week long, too. I wonder if we get an announcement in the So Rare Discord, so hopefully we get that. Hopefully we get that info soon. Because I agree. I thought it was going the full week. The only thing I wonder if because some of the series are rounding up, or winding down, I think is what I was trying to say. I don't know. Can see Houston if Udoka ends up back there. Yeah, bring in some veteran leadership for Russ. Yeah, I mean, listen, if the Clips are running it back and Russ doesn't want to get a massive contract, I mean, he does still make sense there. He's liked there. The fans seem to love Russ there. Paul George loves Russ. It seems to be a good fit. Yeah, it'll be fun to follow. That'll be fun to follow. But anyways, the NBA bit Monday through Friday. We're continuing to grind out some playoff content. Appreciate everyone being here this morning, and also everyone helping us get to over 9,000 subs. 9,004. We're on to 10K, baby. On to 10K. Go ahead. Last call. Like the stream. Subscribe. Put hashtag Ammon into the chat. As always, if you win this giveaway, shoot me a DM at Mike Zakarian, or join the Team Hold Discord and hit me up in there. Looking forward to more playoffs, more hoops, baby. All right, happy Monday. Hope everybody has a great rest of the week. Who's taking it down? Who is taking it down? Bang, bang, bang. It's going to airplane mode. Shout out airplane mode. All right, we'll catch you all later. Stay tuned for some playback alpha. We'll see you soon. We out.